On Saturday, the 8th of July at Sun City, South Africa, two powerhouses will collide as the reigning heavyweight champion, Andrew Fale, takes on the undefeated knockout machine, Mostert. Plus, the light heavyweight title is on the line as the electrifying champion, DRC's champion Dolce, takes on the undefeated French monster, Alain Badou. This is the countdown to EFC 61, proudly brought to you by BetExchange.com.
Andrew Fale is probably the most successful heavyweight in the history of the Extreme Fighting Championship. He's had about 15 fights in the organisation, more than any other heavyweight. He's got a granite chin, fantastic knockout power, and an amazing jiu-jitsu game. And he backed that up with a fantastic performance against Raymond Ohana. He's probably the best heavyweight we've ever seen in the EFC.
I ended that fight quite quickly, but it was an awesome experience in that I'd never sort of fought in a big promotion like that. You know, the TV, the crowds, the whole experience of EFC, you know, sort of grabs you, and it was an awesome experience for me.
At EFC 11, Fale finally got his title shot against Ruan Potts, but unfortunately it didn't go as planned for one gear.
The sort of build-up towards that fight was, you know, in my mind, not complete. You know, I beat Raymond Ohana, and halfway through the year I had another heavyweight fight against Bernardo Makishi, which I also won, and that sort of put me into title contention. Maybe in my mind I wasn't ready to take that challenge, but yeah, a cool experience and one that you learn from, and I definitely did learn from that experience.
After that really disappointing title loss against Ruan Potts, Andrew Fale did what he does best, getting back in the hexagon and dominating everyone the EFC put in front of him, and that set him up for perfect redemption once again against Ruan Potts.
Leading up to that fight, I had a better run up. I fought more frequently, and I gained the kind of experience that I knew I needed to challenge a guy. I think a lot of people thought that he was unbeatable.
You train for a fighter, but you don't leave anything out. And with Ruan, you know, we trained everything. We could see that Ruan wasn't a great striker, but you know, he seemed to have this bit of an X factor. So we gave him a bit of respect.
Fale in the clinch. Oh, and Fale ends up on top with a minute to go. Where Fale wants to be.
The game plan there was to keep it tidy, keep Ruan under pressure, and take no risk. You know, we could have gone for the finish. I believe Andrew could have finished him in that third or fourth round.
Is this the end of the road for Ruan Potts?
But the plan was rather take it easy, keep it tidy, dominate him. After having a loss to Ruan originally, it was better to keep it tidy and keep it controlled. And I think Andrew dominated 4.5 rounds of that fight quite comfortably.
Declaring the winner by unanimous decision, and the new EFC Africa Heavyweight Champion, Andrew Fale.
After successfully defending his title against Source Grobbelaar, Andrew Fale yet again went up against his arch nemesis Ruan Potts at EFC 26.
Probably one of the lowest points in this whole sort of fighting journey for me. I prepared extremely well for that fight. I think in terms of my conditioning game, I was probably at the top of it at that time. And I lost quite quickly in the first round.
Fale's wise to it though. Oh my word! Crash into the canvas. Oh my goodness, it's all over! It is all over, Ruan Potts! Too good for Andrew Fale, who's in pain.
Not a great place for me, but it took quite a bit of you know, motivation to get back and keep doing it after that. But I grew and I learned from that experience, so I was the better for it afterwards. After I lost to Ruan, he actually got a contract to go to the UFC, in which he had to vacate his heavyweight title. That made it available. The guys that were coming up through the division were Brendan Groenewold and Christoph Waldrens. They fought for the vacant title. I beat Elvis and I went on to beat Van Dam and Bowie.
Van Zyl found himself back into title contention, and at EFC 39 in Cape Town, he came up against the champion, Brendan Groenewald.
I fought Brandon in May of the following year, and I succeeded in getting my first knockout in the EFC, which was a pretty cool moment as well.
Andrew Van Zyl, we've seen him many, many times. He comes out with the hands high. Groenewald immediately trying to land some shots. Now Van Zyl comes forward, lands a couple of shots, ducks underneath a big shot from Groenewald.
Brendan threw some nice shots. He even caught Andrew a bit. But Andrew kept relaxed, he stayed on his feet. And he went for it and got the knockout quite comfortably in the end.
Groenewald though. Oh! Groenewald is gone!
It's over! Andrew Van Zyl reclaims his title!
It was an awesome experience. It was again quite a slog and quite a hard part of my journey. But it was awesome to get a win by knockout in Cape Town was a special moment.
It was always difficult defending the EFC heavyweight strap, but it was made even more difficult with the introduction of some fantastic international talent into that division.
EFC, after I'd fought Brandon, it went worldwide, so they started to bring in international athletes. They brought in Cyril Asker, who had sort of torn through the heavyweight division, and I ended up fighting him for my title, defending my title in October, and I lost to a guillotine choke to him, which was bittersweet in that, you know, it was my first international fight, and I'd prepared really well for that fight.
Tomasz Kowalkowski came into the Andrew Van Zyl fight with a lot of hype following a fantastic knockout of Elvis Moyo. But Andrew Van Zyl took the opportunity to show that he is of international quality.
He had knocked Elvis Moyo out with a head kick, and people were, you know, amazed by this sort of 2-meter athlete. I was able to put him away and basically control him on the ground. From then, his win streak is non-existent, so it also exposed some elements of Thomas's game that he needs to improve on.
Andrew Van Zyl's next opponent was Tony Mostert, an Englishman with a slew of first-round knockouts and undefeated record. We all thought that this was going to be one of Andrew Van Zyl's toughest fights to date.
Tough fight for Tony Mostert, also coming off a 6-fight pro win streak. Also a guy that hadn't fought, you know, past the first round, hadn't fought for more than 2 minutes in a fight, those types of things. The first occasion he had been in a big promotion like the EFC, I think he was a little bit awestruck. Yeah, he couldn't deliver on the evening either.
Andrew Van Zyl and Elvis Moyo had fought before, and Andrew had won relatively easily, but no one had a clue of how many improvements the Zimbabwean had made in his all-round MMA skill set. This was going to be a lot more of a tougher fight than Andrew had imagined.
I think in terms of EFC worldwide, I think in the heavyweight division, he is the top athlete in terms of his striking ability and the fact that his conditioning is so, you know, top-notch.
Fighting out of the red corner, Elvis the Bomber Moyo. Fighting out of the blue corner, Andrew One Gear Van Zyl.
In the EFC, there's no heavyweight that can match Elvis. Andrew's a ground specialist, Elvis is a boxing specialist. We've learned how to box and add on to that. Andrew's boxing is good, but he hasn't put in the time that Elvis has. Elvis is at another level there.
Oh, dangerous. Absolutely dangerous. Oh, and he ate a big one, but he took the shot to close the distance. This is what Andrew Van Zyl is made of. This is why he's the warrior. This is why they call him One Gear.
Yeah, it was a tough fight for me in that he was able to counter a lot of the things that worked for me, but I just knew I needed to keep grinding. At the end of the day, quite a memorable victory for me.
Andrew Van Zyl, can he do it again? Absolutely amazing!
And the new EFC heavyweight champion of the world, Andrew One Gear Van Zyl.
Once again, Andrew Van Zyl finds himself at the top of the EFC heavyweight division, but waiting for him is a whole new breed of heavyweight.
He knows we analyzed the Elvis fight and all his other fights. So I'm pretty sure he's going to change as much as possible from the Elvis fight, because Elvis was giving him a bit of a hiding, you know, until he got Elvis down.
If Andrew makes one mistake, he's going to go down. Andrew is a very skilled all-round fighter. Wessels is explosive. I think it's going to be another Elvis Moyer versus Andrew van Sale type of fight.
When you fight Elvis Moyer murdered him on the outside. So his weakness is definitely he don't pick his hands up. He must learn how to pick up his hands, but Wessel will show him.
Elvis has shown absolutely no ground. The only time he went to the ground, he basically got finished. And Wessel, I've seen him escape a side control once from Tony Mostert.
I enjoy stand-up fighting, I enjoy striking. You always work the hardest on the point that you feel you're lacking, or on your what you see as your weakness. So I've been working my ground very, very hard. When it goes to the ground, you know, I'll be able to fend for myself there.
Since making his EFC debut, Wessel Mostert has been a force of nature. He's fast, he's powerful, and he's mean. There's a reason why they call him the Wes Express.
Ooh, big right hand, and Tiny goes down. Tiny is out cold. Out cold. What a shot. Boy, working that body. Wessel Mostert with the big bomb.
Ivan Stratum is holding on.
No, he's done. No, is he still there?
He's out.
He's out. Ivan Stratum is done.
Young G is opened up.
Absolute animal. Savage performance, and that's going to be it. This fight is over.
He's going to do so successfully, and he does. Straight back up, head underneath the chin of Mostert, and now he lands a shot. Oh, he's hit him! He's hit him! He's looking to finish!
Oh, baby!
That's the fight!
His fight is over!
Wow!
Wessel Mostert, the Wes Express, Wessel Mostert!
We all know what a total beast Wessel Mostert is inside the hexagon, but he's also a really, really nice guy. And that's probably courtesy of a very traditional South African family upbringing.
Yeah, I had a great childhood growing up in Rustenburg. I was in law school at Rustenburg. Growing up, we had a great rugby team. We toured a lot. We practically went unbeaten throughout primary school. Then I was in Grensburg High School. I was the captain of our school's first team in high school. Most of the schools around here on the platteland is very rugby orientated, you know. So you tend to get away with a lot if you're in the rugby team, you know, especially the first team. We Afrikaans, boer guys from the platteland, you know, so we all hunt. It's a big passion of mine, the bushveld, you know. I've been very privileged in the past. I've seen a lot of places in the world, but you know, it's always going back to the bushveld. It's my favorite place to be, you know, hunting, or even just going camping or whatever. It's just a big passion of mine, yeah. So we have a game farm just outside of Rustenburg where we breed some of the games, and there's a nice little lodge there. It's just a breakaway place where you can go, you know, and be out in the bush. And I've got a very big passion for anything old or odd or out of the ordinary. Always growing up, my dad he calls it a sickness, his passion for old cars, and I think it rubbed off on me, you know, a passion for anything old, anything antique, and restoring it. He's got quite a collection of cars that he's restored back to its former glory. Old and odd stuff, you know, it's quite something to see. And I definitely inherited that passion. I also collected a couple of old cars, but I basically sold everything I own when I started my business, you know, just to build up some capital for the business. But yeah, slowly getting back to building up my collection again. I'm the owner of Mostert Scaffolding. We're a scaffolding company based in Sasolburg, but we do work all across South Africa and also in Lesotho. We do projects, contracts, work full-time on site, just building and erecting scaffolding. We also now manufacture scaffolding, which we sell and rent out. It's basically steel structures to give people access to heights, you know, whether they're building a new building and they need steel structures on the side to gain access, to do work. At the end of the day, our business do come first. But I've got a very, very adequate team, a very efficient team. The guys here are really up to the task, which makes my life easier and allows me to put in extra training time, which I wouldn't have been able to do if I was still, you know, working for a salary.
I sometimes admire his focus, the way he can shift it and really go for something he wants.
Normally tell my friend, hey guys, my boss is fighting today. I said, no, it's not your boss. I can't just even show them the picture. I said, no. They asked me, said, yeah, we see your boss is the win again. Yeah.
And the guys come to my fights, they'll be at Sun City as well. The guys really like it, especially, you know, since EFC made it available to the general public on SABC3, which means a lot of my workforce get to watch it, you know. And every Monday after there's been a fight, you know, you'll hear some chuckling and questions about the fights and whatever.
Now you have to do it with me. Careful this, don't go up, right?
Wessel Mostert realised he had a passion for mixed martial arts, and with dedication and focus, it took him all the way to Las Vegas to the World Championships.
I qualified for the SA team and we were off to Vegas to go and fight there. On 99, I was told that due to some mistake or some injury or whatever, I was now in the super heavyweight league. And I'm a heavyweight, so I weighed in at 118 kilos, but I had to fight the super heavyweights. I was supposed to fight Leroy Johnson from Canada, and he was the biggest guy I've ever seen. He was like probably 1.5 feet long, taller than me. This guy punches extremely hard. He hit me with a body uppercut, which literally lifted my feet about 1 foot off the ground. Whilst I was in the air, I was thinking to myself, once my feet touch ground, yeah, I need to finish this. You know, I'm not going to worry about getting gassed or whatever, because you know those type of punches will go through your defense. So when I touched ground, I just turned on the pace, and he couldn't keep up, and eventually I knocked him out. I also went to the States for training. There I had the big privilege of training with DC, Daniel Cormier, who is the current UFC light heavyweight champion. It was just such an awesome experience to be there for 5 weeks, you know. I've got a business this side, so at most, some days I can train 3 times, but most of the time it's only twice, you know, in the morning and in the evenings I get to train. But that side, it was 5 weeks where I trained for 6 to 8 hours every day.
Andrew, I've known him since 2000. We used to train at Street Tough many years ago. So I know more or less what Andrew's going to bring.
Yeah, you can know what I'm going to do, and you can try and counter that. But if I can do it better than you can do it, I'm going to win every time.
Andrew hits like a mule. Vessel's got to be ready for that. I don't think he's been hit the way Andrew can hit. He's just waiting for the takedown. He's going to wake up on the ground because he got knocked out.
The hungry lion is always more dangerous than the lion that's full. So he's dangerous, he's hungry.
Wessel improved a lot, especially his attack, his defense, counter-punching. As a boxer side, I think he improved a lot. Wessel is a real contender now.
He's not ready to take on Andrew yet. He needs some more time.
I don't think I've displayed much of my skills. You know, Tiny's fight was 44 seconds. Ivan's fight was 1 minute something. You know, all of them I think ended before 3 minutes or 4 minutes maybe. But I will knock him out in the third. That's what it comes down to.
He's seen it in his dreams. He's seen it in his preparation. He keeps telling you third round is his round. We're going to test that chin.
Tell him to pick up his hands because he's going to fall.
You know what? Anything is possible. You know? Probability, no. That's the difference.
He's got that X factor, that fighting factor, which not many fighters have got.
He is the #1 heavyweight in South Africa. I know that.
But I don't think he's going to bring anything new. You know, there's nothing new. There is nothing new in the game that we haven't seen. We've seen it all.
They've not seen anything of me. Nobody except the guys in my inner circle know how I fight.
I'm looking forward to fighting you at EFC 61 in Sun City.
Wessel, you know, you're a good guy, and you know, you got a lot of respect. But sorry, Brad, it's not your time, and you're just not good enough yet.
EFC 61, I'm definitely keeping my belt.
Ladies and gentlemen, live from Sun City in South Africa, let the battle begin!
On July 8, 2 giants are set to collide for the ultimate prize, the EFC Heavyweight Championship of the World.
Andrew "One Gear" Wessel, the Fence Express, Mostert.
Reigning champion Andrew van Sale will defend his title against the undefeated monster, Wessel Mostert. Plus, the DRC destroyer, champion Dalcha, defends his light heavyweight title against the French KO machine, Alain Badou. EFC 61, 8 July, Sun City. Tickets and broadcast information at efcworldwide.com.